And welcome to all the members who have joined. I think we are expecting more members. Maybe they are joining slightly late. Uh, but since we have the time is already, over by 2 minutes, let me welcome all the existing members, recently onboarded members, as well as prospective members to this session on induction. This session is also being recorded and will be available on in due course on our website as well. Request you all to kindly put your questions in the QA box, which is marked with the sign of interrogation sign, with captions. If you can write question from so and so, your name or organization, and for which speaker's name. We'll try to address most of the questions through relevant speakers, and leftover questions will be handled offline subsequently. So we have agenda displayed on the screen, and just to keep the bandwidth problems out of our equation, uh, I'll request that video camera be switched off. In our we have four speakers covering starting with opening session. The opening session will be handled by myself. My name is Mr. PK Jaswal. I'll cover welcome and context setting, overview of TSDSI. Technical sessions will be handled by uh, you know uh, for study group and standardization network will be handled by Mr. A.K. Mittal, who is presently our DG and advisor networks also. The study group services and solutions 1M, 2M and ITUT, these topics will be handled by our advisor Mr. Vijay Madan, who is advisor and mentor services and solutions group. Marcom activities topic will be handled by Shefali Sinha, and in the end we will have a question and answer session. And though we'll try to answer most of the questions while the session is going on. Just though most of you will be already knowing, Mr. A.K. Mittal was head of TEC, and since I have spoken to many of you, I think, and you have shared my views that he is one of the most respected officers when he was in DOT also, and now also, and we are very lucky and fortunate to have in TSDSI. Now and now acting as now doing the functioning of DG as well. Mr. Vijay Madan, I'm proud to say that he is the only one who's had two extensions at head of GDOT. Till date, nobody has had two extensions. So going to the actual topic, uh, can we have the next slide, please? Yeah, so I'll cover overview of TSDSI. So I'll cover this topic in context setting. I think mostly has been done. If you have any questions, we request you to kindly hold till the end, or you can give in the QA box. Uh, then I'll talk about TSDSI. Then there will be a topic on processes, strategic initiatives, followed by TSDSI over the years. Next slide, please. Why standards? This is just to give an overview that why have standards. Standards, help us in resolution of a problem or even help us in upgradation of technology in a very systematic and process-oriented way. we are able to standardize existing technology and practice using standards. It helps us in bringing in new technology. Like now, we are changing on from 5G to 6G, and a lot of work is already happening in standardization. I think most of you are already aware, based on our multiple interactions, that we are having 3GPP meeting in India in August in Bangalore, and this will be the first meeting probably where 6G work will be undertaken. And many of our members are already gearing up for that. Then standards also help us in meeting market requirements. Interoperability, I think, cannot be stressed. Those of us who have seen the times where when we got some equipment and got tied to that vendor forever, because everything, any update had to be taken from there, and there was no, because of interoperability problem. Of course, reliability is another big factor that help that demand that standard we should go for standards. In addition to these, there could be regulatory, requirement which require from government side, which we have to comply. And if we have standards, definitely it helps in economies of scale also, and also it provides very fair competition because nobody can complain. These effective standard facilitate. Now just take to the. They facilitate, like I already mentioned, interoperability, inclusion across ecosystem, accelerated deployment. It also significantly help in market growth and helps in promoting innovation that matters for future also, and integration of various services. Yeah. So these are the stages of standardization. I think you will, from the technical groups, you will come to know more in detail. But firstly, an idea is, some idea emerges. And in the study group, the definition of the idea is, given. Having got the definition of that idea, then some proposal is, if it is accepted in the study group, then proposals are put through. Proposals are put through only through the study groups, and for that minimum requirement is we have to have 4 supporters, 1 proponent plus 3 supporters. Then there can be many more supporters also, and which could be academia, industry, or R&D agencies. Then development work is undertaken. After that, there is a drafting stage. Then any issues which are there, they are sorted out, and ultimately it is adopted and implemented. These are the very. I think you will come to know more in detail when the presentation on study groups are done. Yeah. Next slide, please. Now about TSDSI, our vision is to ensure that digital communication standards increasingly drive domestic economic and policy activities and enhance India's competitiveness for ICT goods and services in global markets. It aims to do this by creating leadership position through India's participation and contribution to emerging digital communication standards and global SDOs. I think to a large extent we are making good progress because we are organizing a lot of global meetings in India itself, which reduces travel costs, and more of our members are able to participate and are also participating, and also they are trying to contribute. I hope this trend continues. Now we are an autonomous membership-based, standard development organization. We develop a standard for access, core, backhaul, core telecom networks, ICT solutions and services that best meet India's specific telecom ICT needs. Based on the research and innovation which is carried out in our country, we work closely with global standard bodies to reflect India's requirement into international telecom and ICT standards. We play an important role in incorporation of Indian IP into global standards, and we are recognized by DOT as India's telecom SDO, and we are registered as a not-for-profit society. And these are our four objectives on the right side, which you see: developing, promoting, and standardizing India-specific telecom ICT requirements and solutions, taking Indian requirements to global standard organization, adhere to principles of openness, transparency, fairness, consensus, and due process in conducting its activities, and maintain technology neutrality and provide a uniform platform playing field for its members. Yeah, next slide, please. Now, this is the TSDSI organization structure, and you see we have a general body consisting of all the members. Uh, we have a chair and vice chair as two positions which are elected position. These members are elected by the general body itself, and presently Mr. Satish from Reliance is the chair, and Mr. Suresh Chituri from Samsung is our vice chair. Uh, there is a position of treasurer also, and this position is right at the moment vacant. So the governing council nominates one of the members as a treasurer. General below general body in the middle, we see governing council. We have 21 elected members and plus 8 are government nominees. Uh, the, for carrying out functions of governing body, there are 6 standing committees, which are budget and finance, rules and regulations, legal and IPR, outreach committee, roadmap, standardization and transposition. All finance matters and budget are handled by this first committee. Rules and regulations, under which TSDSA is functioning, that is handled by this committee. Rules and regulations. All legal and IPR looks after all the legal and IPR matters. Outreach committee looks after, Marcom activities in general, and roadmap committee, decides what is the roadmap for TSDSI for next 3 years, and they continuously keep on updating. And standardization and transposition committee looks after the work of standardization and transposition. At the bottom, we have Secretariat, which is headed by Director General, at the moment, Mr. A.K. Vittal himself. We have 3 groups: technical activities group, operations, Marcom, and partner relations. Technical groups further divided into 2 technical groups. Uh, and operations, HR, finance, IT, and administration, plus membership development, all these functions come under operations. And Marcom and partner relationship are, these are the activities which are handled by this group. On top, on the right hand side, we have 2 technical groups. The technical groups are study group networks and study group subset and solutions. The chair of study group network is Mr. Prakash from CDOT, and Vice Chair is Abhijit Masal from CWIT. Chair of Study Group Services and Solution is Mr. Mahesh from Reliance Jio, and Vice Chair is Mr. Nirant from Nokia. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so this slide is slightly congested. Below the arc, you find there are 5 bullets. These are the activities that we carry out within TSDSI. And above the arc, it gives a snapshot of uh, the TSDSI that work is being done at high level, uh, and it also shows our relationship with the external standard bodies. On the right side, you see a block showing ATSC, HC, and IEEE. ATSC is a US standard body in broadcast domain. HC is a European standard body like TSDSI, and IEEE, I think everybody knows. With them, we have adoption agreements. Their standards we can adopt. There are certain conditions, of course, on IPR, copyrights, and all, and they are incorporated in the agreement themselves. We have already adopted some standards of ATSC and FC, and we are waiting for some members who are also active in IEEE, and we are hoping that some members will shortly bring in some work in that domain also. Our key activity is actually with the 3GPP, 1M2M, and ITU. On the we and TSDS is an organizational partner of 3GPP and 1M2M and contribute to the functioning of these two organizations. TSDSI Secretariat and the leadership here participate in 3GPP OP meetings as well as PCG meetings, which are high-level meetings for policy decision making. Otherwise, participation in 3GPP and 1M2M technical works happens through individual members called IMs. These IMs are TSDSA members who are working in these organizations. In 3GPP, we have to pay a fees for becoming 3GPP IM. Of course, for startup, the government helps us in subsidizing their fees based on their participation fully sometimes and partially at other times. And for 1M2M currently we have for 3GPP we have 54 members as of now, and for 3GPP we have 64 members. Sorry, 54 members in 3GPP, I'm sorry, and 62 for 1M2M. 3GPP does mobile standards and 1M2M does IoT service layer standards. So, on the left side, we have ITU. Now we are, we have sector membership of ITU. Now, whenever we make standards in TSDSA, they are submitted to TEC for publication at national level, and our members can go to ITU directly also, and uh, they can contribute. In fact, many of our members are contributing in quite a few of the groups. Yeah, next slide, please. Now, SDSS, this is the organization structure. SDSS is further divided into 3 working groups for ease of functioning, and because of a lot of work which is being handled by various work group. Work group 1 is pertaining to security. Work group 2 is for application layer, and work group 3 is for services architecture. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Yeah, these are our activities pertaining to technical groups. I think since technical groups are covering them in detail, I won't dwell on it. But on the right side, there are strategic initiatives. We have the TRIP forum called Technology Roadmap Item Proposal Forums. Uh, these forums deal with items which where ideas of making technical studies or standards is not matured enough, or membership in TSDSI is not sufficient enough to work on these areas. We invite even outside stakeholders or experts as well as in this forum. They are actually a discussion type of forum. We pick up a topic, for example, recently I think we picked up a topic on quantum communication, and there in our membership, and there are very few people working in quantum at that area, which was more than 1.5 years back. And a lot of academia, industry people, and even people from abroad contributed to the work on quantum, and we came out with a white paper. So trip forums create a white paper which brings out current status, gaps, and making recommendations for further technical work. In fact, while the trip forum was in vogue by doing its work, we already had a few work items or NIPs in study, both the study groups. Definitely in SEN, I remember uh, two new work items on quantum, that is the trusted node and underwater QPD. So we are a sector member of ITU. We make contributions to 3GPP, 1M2M, and ITU, and we have agreements with the ATSE, HC, and IEEE for adopting standards that I already pointed out. We do workshop to promote standards-driven work research. We go to academia and do research and workshop and give them idea as to how to convert their academic research to standards. India government hosted ITUT WTSA recently. WTSA, that was around the time when IMC was on, Indian Mobile Congress was on. WTSA is a World Telecom Standard Assembly, and uh, that was, I think, from October 14 to 24 last year. We contributed there also, and this meeting was held in India, in New Delhi itself. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a snapshot of our membership. What are the verticals? Uh, sections. We have membership from manufacturers, domestic membership, manufacturers, telecom providers, other services, R&D organizations, academia, and even government department and autonomous bodies. We have three types of membership. Corporate are the paid entities that are registered in India and engaged in telecom related works. Associate industry associations, foreign entities, foreign industry associations. Right now, I think there is a proposal that even the foreign associations, there is a point is under discussion that foreign associations should also be allowed to attend global meetings like CGPP. It is not yet come through, but this is under discussion. And guest members are the organizations who wish to explore the need for becoming a member before taking up corporate or associate membership. So they evaluate whether it will be useful for them, and then they can convert guest membership to corporate or associate membership depending upon their eligibility. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are our rules and procedure and guidelines. Links are given here. We are governed by rules and R&R, that is rules and regulations, version 2.0. It is like a Bible for us. It contains all the rules and regulations that we have to follow while working in TSDSI. So, working procedure is meant for working procedure is for doing work in the study group, basically technical oriented work. Standard operating procedures are for our internal processes, and we have IPR policy also, which is there on our website. The links are given here. Next slide, please. We have engagement since I'm overshooting my time. I like to most of these points are covered in this. Only important point in the ITU being that we have A.5 certification. This allows that TSDSI's specifications or standard can be quoted in their documentation of ITU. 3GPP, I think already pointed out, we have 54 members. Also, like to point out that we have started conducting more and more 3GPP meetings, and in August, many of you are already there, but we'll request all of you who can attend Bangalore meeting, which is a RAN working group. All the 5 groups are coming, and more than 1,200 to 1,500 delegates are expected. We have already got registration of more than 900 delegates from abroad. 1M2M already informed. I think we can go to the next slide. 62 members we have. TSDSI over the years, we just last year we completed 10 years, and these are the milestones. We have been steadily growing over the years. Rather, I request you all also to recommend some more members so that we become more powerful. And we have already crossed, mark of 100, having started in 214. At present, we have a good membership, and they are very active also in all the study groups, as well as they are becoming more and more active in 3GPP and global SEOs like 1M2M and ITU as well. Okay, next slide, please. These are the references, resources which are given, and you may have a look later. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'll request our DG, Mr. A.K. Mithil, to kindly take off over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaswal, for that overview of TSDSI. So, I am A.K. Mittal, advisor with the TSDSI and currently also DG. So, now we will look into the overall standards process, which is similar to other SDOs, and also how we are engaged with other international organizations. So we will one by one we will go through all that and our internal process, how do we create standards. So this here you see the life cycle for standards. There are 3 blocks. One is for pre-standard stage, other is for actual standards creation stage, and last one is for post-standardization stage. And each one of them I can explain separately. Can you go to the next slide? So this was the first block, pre-standards stage. Now, when a standard proposal comes to the standards body, lots of activities go on the back side or at the back end. That because that proposal is not coming just for the sake of bringing some proposal, but there is some idea, some innovation inside the proposal, which will be, seen when the standard development process takes place, or it may be a study. So the behind the scene work which happens is normally, as you saw from the initial slide from Mr. Jaswal, that the market requirement is one of the basis for creation of standards, and then interoperability is another part. So serving the market, and when you serve the market, you need to know that what kind of different verticals exist, what are their service requirements, and which kinds of technologies can serve their purpose. And all that information comes through the activities in the outside world, that is from outside TSDSI, and also within TSDSI through workshops, etc., where different stakeholders participate. Otherwise, there are lots of collaborative activities in academia, in the industry, in the R&D organizations. Lots of white papers are published, and different government policies on keep on coming on technology and regulation. Then there are use cases, labs which are created, which create requirement or upgradation of the use cases and standards. So all this combined, research, innovation, development activities, consultations, collaborations, all that combined, plus finally one exercise which we undertake in TSDSI, which is called roadmap. So currently we are running roadmap version 3.0. We will talk about that little later. So that roadmap is also created after taking inputs from internal and external stakeholders. So combined of that, our members bring technical proposals to the study groups. You already know, Mr. Jaswal introduced you to the study groups. We have two study groups, study group networks and study group services and solutions. So members, depending on their interest and their capability and what they want to actually do, they bring a proposal which is called new item proposal. So this is the pre-standardization stage. We can talk about it more, but in the interest of time, I gave you a summary. And in fact, throughout this presentation, we will talk in brief, and we will be happy to take questions in the end and even later. Next slide, please. So this is the crux of activity, what we do in TSDSI. So when a new item proposal comes to the study group, so as Mr. Jaswal explained, there is a requirement that there is a lead proponent of the proposal and at least 3 supporting organizations. And idea is that no individual or monopolistic proposal will come to the standards body. It will be supported by more people so that you have a fair chance for others also to provide inputs into creation of standards or technical studies. So that new item proposal is brought into a template, and then either the member itself proposes this, whether they want to do a study or they want to straight away create a standard, or the study group, even after the proposal from the members, study group discusses and decides whether we go for a study on that proposal or we go for standards. And then if it is accepted as a study, for a study, it becomes a study item. And if it is accepted for creation of a standard, then it is accepted as a work item, SI or WI. So SI leads to a technical report. Technical report would normally examine all the pros and cons, challenges, market demands, and also and it will make recommendations whether we should go for further standards into this area or not, or what are the possibilities for further work in this area. So that this work happens through technical contributions from members. Any member, even if that member is not part of the proposal in the NIP stage, they can bring contributions so that the entire text of the technical report is developed over a period of time, over a number of study group meetings. So those are called contributions, and they are also brought under a given template, which is called SWIC, study or work item proposal template. Through that, the contributions come, and gradually, based on discussions in the study group, the technical report is developed and the study group approves the report, and then we publish it on the website. And based on the recommendations of that report, further work is then left to the members to do that, what they want to do based on the recommendations. So many of these recommendations are creation of new standard, and proposals for creation of standards do come or are generated based on the reports. And work item is a creation of standard straight away. So it also follows the same method as study item. And the outcome of this work item processing in the study groups is called draft standard. It is a draft standard because a study group, whatever it produces, has to be approved by the general body of TSDSI. And our process is that general body approval is taken through email circulation by giving a time limit which is prescribed in our rules and regulations. And one important activity which takes place is at the stage of draft standard is IP declaration. If any member has patents inside that standard, then as per our IPR policy, they can voluntarily declare that patent. We expect them to declare, but voluntary in the sense that every member has, the freedom to see what is the right time to declare, and based on that, declarations take place, and we post those declarations on the website. And we do read out the IP declaration, our IPR policy during the study group meetings, that people are, requested or encouraged to declare their IPs. So after this, all this is done, draft standard is submitted to the general body for approval. And the next thing we do is that every standard which we finalize to general body, first we upload it on the website of TSDSI and parallelly send it to the Telecom Engineering Center of DOT for consideration for adoption as a national standard. So a large number of standards, at least the ones which we have, a large number of ones which we have transposed from 3GPP, they have been sent to TEC. They have been adopted also as national standard. We will show them in the next few slides. And some standards which we on our own created, they are also under consideration of TEC, and some of them have been adopted as national standards as well. And as you saw in the earlier slides, the 3GPP 1M 2M ITUR, we have a membership with them, and our members, as far as 3GPP and 1M 2M is concerned, our members who take further individual membership of these organizations, they go to their respective meetings and contribute to the standards. Those international specifications which are created by 3GPP 1M 2M, they are again taken to the study group, but not via members. As per our process, the secretariat compiles all the standards and submits it to the study group, and with a request to consider whether they can be adopted as a draft standard. So after deliberation and consideration, study group gives a go ahead that we can create them, accept them as draft standard, and then same process follows, general body and TEC. ITUR and ITUT, the contributions are not by individual members, but by the, it is developed in the study group, but the contribution is called a TSDSI contribution. And the standards which are created in ITUR, ITUT, they are not transposed. They are by default, by default or de facto, there are international standards and nobody transposes them. And ITUR, ITUT have no such arrangement for transposition by members for the standards. So this is the crux of activity around which all the center of activity around which all other activities of TSDSI are done. So whatever you see next will be around this. All our members all the time, they will be busy bringing for proposals, taking proposals to 3GPP, 1M, 2M, or we are developing contributions to ITUR and also developing our own standards and technical reports. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is the third stage, post standards. So what happens that once the standard is done, now there should be a process in place, or there should be, the ultimate requirement is that it should be implemented in the market. So normal activity is that after a standard is done, some pilot tests and trials take place, or if the confidence in the industry on the standard is sufficiently high, then people directly produce the equipment and take it to the market for adoption. For example, all the mobile equipment of whatever you see in the market, 3G, 4G, and 5G, all that equipment has been, produced based on 3GPP specifications. And because a large number of industry, all relevant stakeholders have jointly created standards, confidence level is high, it is straight away adopted in market. Of course, when a standard is being developed, the respective organizations who are contributing, they do their own simulation studies or other tests and trials, or make some equipment to see that whether really it is workable or not. So that is how that credibility is built in and market adopts it. And the regulatory bodies or the certifying bodies, they certify the equipment, whatever is the certification process or the requirements in different regions. And what happens that during when the market adoption takes place, there is a feedback coming from the market whether there are some errors in implementation on the standard itself, which is creating a poor service, or there is a requirement for upgradation of some features. So many kinds of feedback they come, which again go back to the standards body through members. The standard is then revised, and like that gradually the revisions go up, but by the time a new technology or new innovation starts coming in, the end of life comes for that standard. For example, 2G GSM, it's end of life almost, and nowhere in the world. 3G also is reaching end of life. Today what we see is 4G and 5G. So maybe at some stage of 6G, 7G, or 8G, maybe we will see the end of life for 4G and 5G also. So that is how the standards work. And with that understanding only, the members who are coming in TSDSI, they should have a good idea of how standards are created, what is the pre-standards activity, how they are actually going to the market, what market does, how standards are then updated. And open source is something which is done outside TSDSI. So we, for our standards, there is no open source as yet, but in the market for 5G, there is a open source organizations who are working. So this is just an indicative diagram for that. Next slide, please. Yeah, next. So we were talking about our standards. So this is a snapshot of total number of reports and standards which have been, developed by the two study groups. So if you see, study group networks has 13 reports, but 10,000 something standards, which are majority of them are transpose standards from 3GPP. And study group as services and solutions has 143 reports and 226 standards. This is also a mix of 1M, 2M transpose standards, some security standards, and our own standards. So if you see on the right side uh, of the slide, you will find the list of our own standards which we have developed. Cloud interoperability, there are 3 standards, stage 1, 2, and 3. 5GI we developed as a separate incremental standard over 3GPP 5G for enhanced coverage and some more parameters, which was later merged into 3GPP release 17. It is still a part of the ITU recommendations. Then CPRI, front haul transport, generic relay architecture. This list will grow in coming 2 or 3 years. There will be a big list of TSDSI's own organic standards. And standards which have been adopted by us, as in the initial slide from Mr. Jaswal, you saw that we have adoption relations with HC, ATSC, etc. So with HC, we have adopted their IoT and NFV standards. ATSC, the IP-based broadcast system standards, which we have adopted. And also, we have adopted the 3GPP and 1M2M specifications. It's a regular process that we transpose 3GPP and 1M2M large number of standards. Every quarter, 3GPP modifies their standards, updates them every quarter, and every 18 to 24 months there are new releases. So we keep on transposing them and sending them to TEC, and TEC keeps on adopting our standards on 3G, 4G, and 5G. And they have also adopted our security assurance requirements based 3GPP specifications and also 1M2M specifications. Next slide, please. Yes, so this slide is a combined list of items on which our own organic standards are being worked upon. So this will come twice. This is coming here also, and this will again be seen in SGSS portion for the sake of convenience. But you can see that towards 6G and 5G enhancements, there are a number of items on which standards are being worked, and the important ones which are of immediate 6G relevant are architecture for 6G, codeless RAN, AI architecture for RAN, And RIS in the last period, if you see, RIS we have already one standard and an updated standard which takes into account lots of other operators requirement is in working, and maybe in our June meeting next week, which is happening next week, or maybe in the further next meeting, this will be approved and this will be implementable standard in the market. Then we have broadcast offload and other standards. So there is a big list. I will not go through all of them. You will have this copy of this with you. You can see at your leisure. Next slide. Yeah. And this is again a combined list of technical reports published on as on 1st April 25. There are more reports now after 1st April, but this is a slide. And again, we have categorized them into 6G, 5G enhancements, spectrum studies, broadcast convergence, open systems, wireless, and security services. So you have to, we will not be able to go into each of them, but these are very, technically highly intensive studies and very useful for people to do further innovation for doing some standards related work based on the recommendations here. Next, please. So we do publish some white papers through our TRIP forums. TRIP forums have been introduced to you by Mr. Jaswal in the earlier portion. So those are discussion forums where TSDSI members and non-members can participate and give ideas on the new areas. So there it's a very open discussion forum. And latest one is our standardization opportunities for quantum communication technologies and smart city solutions. So you can see that, and there will be more white papers in coming days. There will be 4 more white papers in 1 or 2 months' time. Next slide, please. So I was talking about roadmap. So we had roadmap version 1.2, 1.0, 2.0. This is third one. So normally it is for 3-year horizon. So this is for till the year 27, calendar year 2027. And if you see, there are 13 verticals here. And in each vertical, these are the proposals which were received during some workshops which we carried out, where our members and non-members participated. And based on that, and also we asked our members that whether they will be ready to really work on these items into the study groups in different time frames. So based on that acceptance, this list has been finalized, and many of these items have already gone into the study groups for technical studies or for standards. So, and this roadmap is not something which is static for 3 years. It can further be revised based on the developments which are taking place or the topics which we feel have been left out and should have been there. So that exercise is, there is a roadmap committee under the chairmanship of GC members, governing council members, and other members can participate, non-GC members also, which deliberates on what new items can be brought in and how to take these items into the study groups. Next slide, please. So these are what we saw earlier were the technical reports and the work items or the standards were taking place. This is the ongoing technical studies in study group networks. So if you see that the biggest list is on the left side, 6G and 5G enhancements. So this covers railway systems, future mobile networks, handling of services, near field communication. Then you have minimum performance requirement for mobile devices. And we can keep on talking about, we are also doing a study on waveforms for 6G because in 5G systems there are some waveforms whether 6G will need special waveforms for meeting the new requirements. So that is under study. And we are doing it. This is being done all over the world. And we are, when we took up this item, or we were among the first few SDOs who started working on that. So, and on the right side, you see wireless backhaul, spectrum site, sub-terahertz, and integrated sensing and communication channel modeling, quantum, visible light communication, others. So there's a wide range of technical studies. Next slide, please. So this was up to this point, this was what we were doing in TSDSI, its own processes. Now our organizations with whom we work, and uh, they have a big portion of our activity, focused on them, is one of them is 3GPP. 3GPP is third generation partnership project. So as the name suggests, it came in when 3G was being conceptualized. But then the name being, a trade name like 3GPP, which has become, known worldwide. But later it did 4G also, 5G also, and I think all Gs in future will be done by the same grouping. We have now, I have written 70 is slightly old, 850 plus companies or organizations are individual members of 3GPP who work together for creating standards. And every 10 years there is a new generation like 3G, 4G, and 5G. They took almost, there was a 10 years gap in these generations, and in between they were updating the previous specifications with new functionalities and compatibility and interoperability, and then thinking about what to do about next generation. So when we say 10 years, every 10 years, next generation, doesn't mean that we start the work at 10 years. We start work 3 years or 4 years in advance. So maybe after 4G, after 6 years or 5 years of 4G, the thought on 5G things started, some studies and all that. And it really picked up about 3 years in advance. Similarly, now 5G is running, and thoughts on 6G have already started, in 3GPP. Some study items are also being taken up. We will talk about that later. Next slide, please. So 3GPP is, what is 3GPP? It is actually not a legal body. It is a consortium, and consortium of 7 standard bodies like TSDSI, and remaining are from other regions. And these SDOs or standard organizations, they are called organizational partners of 3GPP, because this is a consortium, so we are partners. And our members go there who do the technical work. Where technical work happens, how it happens, we will see later. And but these organizational partners have to sign a partnership project agreement, and have to abide by all the rules and procedures of 3GPP. And so they have very detailed rules and regulations of their working, how the organizational partners have to behave, what are their responsibilities and obligations, and how different working groups will function, how their work will be approved. All that is very, very much codified, and everybody works to that rulings. Next, please. Next, please. So these are the 7 organizations here. You see 2 are from Japan, top one from Arab, and TTC at the bottom is from Japan. Then you have US ATIS, China, CCSA, Europe ETSI, India TSDSI, and Korea TTA. We became member of 3GPP in 2014 when we were after our registration, while 3GPP is working since 1998. Next slide, please. Slide has not changed. Yeah. So 3GPP membership regions are shown here, and also if you can see, there are mostly people coming from 42 countries, but it has gone up because we see that already for the meeting which is happening in India, there are people from 46 countries who will be joining. It may grow, and 857 individual members or IMs, organizations who are there, and there are 20,000, number of delegates in 1 year which take part in the meetings, 125 meetings in a year, all the working groups and TSGs, 4,000 active live specifications, and we have change requests. Change requests are those where whenever you want to update a standard, you want to correct it, or you want to do a new functionality, or you want to upgrade a functionality, that is done through change request. So every year about 22,000 change requests are handled by 3GPP, and this number is growing. Next slide, please. So individual members, we have been talking. Who are they? They are the member organizations of SDOs, or the organizational partners. Like people attending the meeting here from our membership, they are our members. And people who are willing to become IM on payment of a specific fee for that, they become IMs. Number of IMs has been told already, about 54 IMs we have for 3GPP. And there are meetings of 3GPP working groups and specification TSGs, where people, these members can go and contribute for development of standards. They have to abide by all the rules and regulations of 3GPP. Next slide. Then there are observers and guests. So here, as against TSDSI observers, in TSDSI observers are people who want to become member of TSDSI. Here observers are who want to, the organizations who are eligible to become organizational partner of 3GPP. They have a potential and they have a willingness, but they want to observe initially to see the working of 3GPP. So first they enter as observer, and based on the recommendation of organizational partners, and after some time, uh, based on the decision of existing organizational partners, they are taken into the 3GPP fold. So TSDSI was the last SDO which entered in 3GPP partnership. There is no new proposal as of now. And guests are those IMs, or the future IMs, like companies who have not become IMs, but they are members of TSDSI or any other SDO. They want to see the functioning of some specific working groups. They want to participate, so they can be given a limited time participation approval, but they have no rights there. They can only just see what is happening, but they cannot vote or contribute. Next, please. So this is a ecosystem of 3GPP. So the circles, the double circle which you are seeing, two concentric circles. Internal, the small circle is the same membership which we talked about, and the outer circle is the market representation partners. They are called MRPs. So these are the organizations who commit to promoting 3GPP standards in the market. So they apply to 3GPP, and based on their work, they are taken as market representation partner. They can participate in the meetings, but they have no voting powers. But and they do not participate in the technical meetings or make technical contributions in the strategy. But they can of course submit some notes or some proposals for information, but they are not IMs. And 3GPP also has relations with other projects, like different consortiums across different SDOs who are not the partners here, like IEEE and 1M2M. They have license relation, and GCF and PTCRB, which are testing certification bodies. So with all of them, they have liaison relationship and some work if they want to get it done through them. And ITU is one of the main partners for 3GPP, in the sense that whatever 3GPP does, it is accepted by the ITU, at least the radio specifications by ITUR, and adopted as standards, so that it gets worldwide acceptability. Next slide, please. So I will dwell on it for a little more time, just so that you can understand 3GPP. So 3GPP is actually divided into three verticals. One is radio access network, technical specification group RAN, technical specification group SA, services and system aspects, and CT, core network and terminal. So these are three segments of 3GPP functionally. and each one of these technical specification groups has number of working groups with them. So 6 each for RAN and SA and 4 for CT. So TSGs are the master groups which sanction or which approve the work which will be done by the respective working groups. For example, in TSG RAN, there will be RAN 1 to RAN 6. SA will have SA 1 to SA 6. They are actually RAN WG1, RAN WG2, but in short, they are called RAN 1, RAN 2. Similarly, SA1, SA2, or CT1, etc. So whatever study and standards work is to be taken up by working groups, the proposals come to TSG, they accept the scope and timeline when the work should be completed, and then it goes to the working group for formally working on that. And the output of working groups is again brought to the TSGs and they approve that. But while working, because if you are working, for example, for a given release, say release 15 or now say release 19, and you want to ensure that the system works end to end. So all these people should know that whatever they are doing, it doesn't, contradict with what other person is doing. They should be in line and synchronized. So these groups, they synchronize their activities, and they also see that if some proposal is coming, if it relates, they analyze that what are the specifications, existing specifications which will be impacted. So all that has to be mentioned while submitting a proposal, and then it has to be ensured that all those specifications and all those working groups are to be informed that we are working on this, and this is our idea. And so those groups are also ready to see if they have to do something to take care of what is being done in another group. So all this coordination responsibility among these groups is resting on SA. So SA coordinates the activities among all the groups, so that the leadership of these groups at the TSG level and working group level, they are in touch with each other, and they keep on examining what matters are coming, where the work is happening, and based on that, decisions are taken. And decisions are actually normally consensus driven. Consensus does not mean that 100% people agree, but when there is a wide consensus and there is no sustained major objection which is coming, so there are different rules for that. I will not go into detail of that. It's a part of working procedure. So there is a very well defined procedure how the work will progress. So TSGs meet every 3 months, every quarter, and review the work which is being handled by the working groups and see whether time plan is being done. They approve the work, they approve the modification, they approve the change requests, everything is done by respective. They meet together at the same time in the same city. So this is how the TSG RAN works, and the working groups, they meet 4 to 6 times a year. So between two TSG meetings, each of the working groups would have met at least once or twice, depending on the amount of work which they have been allotted. But what is not visible here is that how these three working groups or the TSGs are controlled. Who is at the top? At the top is PCG, Project Coordination Group. The project coordination group consists of organizational partners and MRPs. Though MRPs have no voting power in that, but basically organizational partners control these activity. They actually do not exercise a control, but they are the top body to accept the overall work which is being done by TSG and approve their output. So whatever release is given, whatever specifications done, every 6 months this PCG meets and approves the output of these TSGs. So that is how it exercises control. This also approves the elections results of the TSGs and working groups, that okay, these are the people who have been elected, so they approve. Uh, so that is how it, but the interference is minimal in the activity. But if some problem is projected by the TSGs to CGPP PCG, then that is resolved. Next, please. So project coordination group I have explained. Next. TSG I have explained, and normally in TSGs, the RAN TSG has the maximum number of participants, normally about 350 to 400, and slightly less in SA, and CT has lesser, maybe about 150 members in attending the meeting at the same time. Next slide. So TSD RAN, as the name suggests, works on the radio aspect. That means the base station and mobile, whatever is the radio activity taking place between the two, all that is handled in the TSG RAN, and they also provide specifications for conformance testing of the UE and the base stations. Next, please. SA is the services and system aspects. So this is the group which actually also decides the architecture for a particular technology, the first basic architecture. Of course, RAN does its own radio-based architecture related things separately, but overall services architecture is first done by the SA for any particular release or technology. They do it, and then based on that, there is studies and their specifications. The next stage of work is done by RAN and CT. CT comes in the end because they are stage 3 protocol based work, mostly they do. Stage 2 work is a little less there. And so SA being so they are the coordinator because they are the people who begin the work for any particular technology or release by deciding their architecture, services and architecture, and they also work on security, telecom management, mission critical applications in different working groups. Next, please. CT is, as the name suggests, is the core network and terminals. So radio part of the terminals is done by RAN, but other parts of the physical interfaces and other characteristics and other requirements of their terminals is done by CT, and also the entire work on the core of the network is done by CT. Next, please. Here we have not covered somehow the working groups separately, but I will just quickly mention that the working groups are the groups where the basic technical work happens. And the largest working group attendance which has been seen is in RAN 1, where in any RAN 1 meeting, you will have 500 plus people sitting in one room and meeting, and they will be handling about 1,000 plus documents in 1 week's meeting. So they have evolved a procedure where they split into different, they break out into different groups to handle different set of topics, and they then join again at different times during the week uh, to make it like a plenary and take a direction, share results, and then go back. And on the last day, the results of that week are approved by the TSG plenary. So that is how the working groups size are. But there are other groups who have some 300 people, some have 250, some have 100. So they vary, the size varies, but it's a huge gathering, and everybody has some stake there who has traveled, thousands of miles and sitting there and making a contribution, or even listening to contributions and seeing what can be done, etc., etc. And the meetings are face to face. Only in the corona time, the meetings were done online. But after the corona subsided, the meetings have been restored to face. Only a remote access one way is given. Work, we have already talked about SIWI for TSDSI, same thing here. And they create a work plan for each SI and WI, which provides a good overview of total number of SI and WIs individually being handled in different groups of 3GPP. And we also mentioned that there are 3 stages of work. Requirements are done first, then architecture is decided. So stage 1 and stage 2 are mostly done in SA, but then when it goes to RAN, so they also have their own requirement and architecture work. And then finally the protocol work, most of it happens in RAN. Of course, for mission critical applications, some protocol work can happen in SA also. And companies and not individuals participate. We have talked about IMs, so I will not repeat. Track record is amazing in the sense that whatever specifications have been produced by 3GPP, all of those standard specifications have been deployed. It is not that we created a standard and it is lying idle. So there is a record of success, and every 15 to 24 months, now it has become actually 18 to 24 months, there is a release. What is a release? We will see next. Next, please. I'm overshooting my time. I will be fast now. So 3GPP processes may, so I need not explain feature, everybody understand. SIWI, whatever we explain for TSDSI, same thing. Release is a group of specifications put together. So release is at the beginning of a release, the all the three groups hold workshops. They hold workshop together, separate workshops, and they decide on the feature of next round of specifications. So some of those specifications will relate to SA, some to RAN, some to CT. So when all of that work is completed, because all that work is coordinated, they define a time frame that okay, this release will be frozen or finalized, say in December 2025. So all groups will work to the target of 25 and they will work backwards to see that all their individual items are progressing as per that target. And sometimes some features also need to be dropped if they are not meeting the time targets. So these specifications, when finalized, frozen, they are put together and called a release. So 3GPP works on the concept of release, and one release may have 1,000, 1,500, 1,800 specifications. Next slide, please. Process is change request. I told how the why change request is created. So a specification can be changed only through a change request, and a freezing of a specification happens only when the groups feel that a specification has become stable, no more new proposals are coming. They say okay, it's frozen. So now no, you cannot add any new functionality to that. Next slide, please. So why become a member of 3GPP? Now in 3GPP, you have seen with all this explanation, there is a technology collaboration platform. 850 plus people are there. We are seeing for last few years, it has grown from some 600 to now 850 over the last few years, and it's on the growing path. So it's a, and you have all varieties of stakeholders there. So it's a technical collaboration platform, and the topics which are discussed, large variety of topic, and some topic may be of interest to you, and maybe more topics may be interest to you if you participate and you work on that. You may get new ideas. Okay, this is happening. Why not I improve my product, or I also contribute to the standard here. Next slide, please. So you get exposure to the latest and advanced mobile communication technologies. You can make contributions, and for example, Navig like GPS and other navigation systems of some other countries, you can see and you can use on our handset. Navig of ISRO is also now part of 3GPP specifications. It will start coming. It is because that for the common user, that frequency range was not implemented by ISRO. So it is not seen on our handset, but because now the satellites are being launched by ISRO, so soon we can forget GPS and be entirely on Navig while in India. And next slide, please. IPR policy. So as we saw in TSDSI's working, that we have a IPR policy and members are required to declare their IPRs or patents. 3GPP doesn't have an independent IPR policy, they say, because the IPR policies of all the organizational partners, they are almost quite coherent. So they say that whatever you contribute here and if you have a patent, you declare to your parent organization. So if my IM or TSDSI IM goes to 3GPP and has uh, a patent there, so at its willingness, voluntarily, whenever that member wants, can declare that patent in that format which is provided to TSDSI, which will be promptly posted on the website. Next slide, please. And for contribution to 3GPP meetings, it is important to open a EOL account. Its full name is HC online account because HC manages 3GPP work. So it's the name EOL account. So there is a process. We have attached a Word document here. Once you get the credentials for EOL, then you can make a contribution, and you can also see all the documents. Some documents may be non-public, but people, the members having EOL account can see 100% documents. Next slide, please. Then there is a very detailed working procedure in 3GPP. It's a very, very detailed working procedure because nobody can explain and call for a class and explain a working procedure. There are 850 organizations who are working. So people have to read, they have to attend meeting and see how things are working and read the procedures and follow the procedures. Because if you failed in the while you are working in 3GPP, if you have not followed the procedure, your contribution can fail, right? Or whatever you say may not be accepted because it may be outside the procedure. So it's very important to get acquainted with the procedure and their templates, everything. And here is 1+4 is the combination which is required for submitting a proposal to be accepted in 3GPP. In our case, it is 1+3. For 3GPP, it is 1+4 supporters. Next, please. Then 3GPP, because you should know when a meeting is happening, when you have to travel. So 3GPP publishes at least around 1.5 year or 2 year calendar in advance. So you can see which meeting is happening when, what are the dates. You will know the country. For meetings which are too far, you may not know the country but not the city. But meetings which are 6 months to 8 months away, sometimes 1 year away, even the city will be known. And there is a process how those invitations come and how do you apply. And you must become a member of the email list of that particular working group where you want to participate. So there is a procedure for becoming a member of the email list because all the information for that group flows on those email lists. The procedure is given here, the hyperlink. Next, please. These are some templates. I will not open here in view of the time constraint. So there is a work item description template where even for TR or technical specification, you submit a proposal there. And some temporary document, the contribution which you submit is a TDoc. So that template is here. Next slide, please. So this is again the procedure after when you want to contribute. So you have to follow some 5 steps through your EOL account, go to the portal, log in, and then how to select is explained here. So that can be seen only practically, but it's a very simple procedure. Next, please. So most people will be interested what 3GPP is doing on 6G. So 6G SA had started initial studies on 6G even 1 year back, but now the plan is that release 20, which will start by which the work will start in RAN in August now. The TSG meeting currently going on in Prague is deciding on the number of topics and topic-wise distribution to different working groups. They will decide this week, and RAN 1 will start its work in the August meeting, which is happening in India. So release 20 work will be only studies and work related to 5G specifications plus studies for 6G. And release 21 will be, which will be 2.5 years from now, maybe starting the work uh, on release 21, and which will be out sometime in 2029. And the work will start in 2027. So that work will happen in release 21. So that is the overall plan of, but they have not decided when release 21 will actually start functioning, start the work, and by June 26 they will decide the start line for release 21. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are some important links you can see. Next slide. ITU. Yeah, next. So ITU, most of you may be knowing who are in the technical field. This is the uh, first international global body in the telecom standard space. It is headquartered in Geneva, established in 1865, and currently it has 194 member states, other countries, and about 1,000 companies and other organizations like our universities, etc. Next, please. So its members are member states, countries, 194, sector members like TSDSI is a sector member. Sector members can become member of ITUR, ITUT or ITUD, any one of them or all of them separately. It depends on the requirement of that organization, and they can participate. They can be part. They have all the rights, but except the voting rights as the members have. And normally the work in the technical groups of the ITUT or ITUR, this works on consensus, not on voting. And we have associate members, academia, and exempted entities. Associate members are for a specific technical group or study group. Next slide, please. This is the structure of ITU. The top body for ITU is a plenipotentiary conference. It happens every 4 years. So it is not a permanent body, but it's a conference where all the three segments of ITU and their members they meet together. It's called plenipotentiary. It's a policy deciding body. Every 4 years they meet, they review the performance, and they decide the next round of 4 years. There is a 4 year cycle of external development in ITU. So 4 year program they decide, and they decide the policies, amend their existing policies. And during this 4 year period, there is a ITU council that looks after the work, like a governing council we have in TSDSI. So there is a ITU council. The members are elected every 4 years when a plenipotentiary meets, and then council oversees the function of ITUR, ITU radio sector, ITU telecom sector, and ITU development sector. And there is a general secretariat which helps. And ITUR, T and D, they have their own secretariats as well. Next. So ITUD, as the name suggests, is only a developmental work. So it doesn't do any technical specification work, but sees how digital divide can be removed and how people who are on the back seat, whether they are countries, regions, or in some specific areas, so they decide the policies and suggest measures and also take up some development projects. Next slide. There are only two study groups in ITUD, study group 1 and 2. One is for enabling environment for development of ICT, and ICT services and applications promote sustainable development. So they are development oriented. Next. ITUR is, as the name suggests, the radio sector. So all the radio communication related development of standards, including management of spectrum and allotment of management of the satellite orbits in space, is the job of ITUR. And it has also, next slide please. So it has working groups like on spectrum management, radio wave propagation, so 1 and 3. So study group 2 was sometime, it was existing but was abolished, or its work was probably merged with some others. So it's all history. Then radio wave propagation, then satellite services. Next please. A study group on terrestrial services. So what we do in terrestrial mobile is study group 5's work, whatever 3GPP and we are doing on 5G, 4G or 6G. All this is a part of 5G on the radio aspect side. And broadcasting services and science services. Science are like research organizations and other user departments who are not involved in telecommunication per se, but they need spectrum for their functioning. Next, please. So study group 5, so this is the structure of ITUR, is radio communication assembly heads it, and there are also elections happen to the radio communication assembly. There are study groups under this, what we saw just now, And because study group 5 is interest for mobile services, so it has working parties, which are actually the study groups. Actually, study groups are where the technical work happens is working parties 5A, B, C, and D, and mobile system work, which is called IMT. IMT work happens in working party 5D, which is further divided into three main working groups. All that. So there's a lot of detail in that. Next slide, please. And this is just to show that ITU has created a framework for IMD 2030. 6G is called IMD 2030. There 6G is a 3GPP, or commonly known word. Is a 3GPP word or a commonly known word, because one increment in each cycle of technology. So this is a framework, and TSDSI contributed to this framework, and currently also technical performance requirements and our evaluation methodologies, which they are developing in ITU, TSDSI is making contributions to that. Next, please. Yeah, this is the 6G timeline, or the IMD 2030 timeline, that how they will follow different steps for this is a very detailed and kind of, within inverted commas, it's a very bureaucratic procedure which ITU has, but a very well defined procedure for development of standards. And so 3GPP will align to this time plan, so that the proposal of 6G technology, which is developed by through release 21, is submitted to ITU as per their time plan. Next, please. Yeah, so my turn is over. Thank you very much for patient hearing.
Thank you. Now I'm Vijay Madan, taking over as the section which is relating to services and solutions study group. So I'll try to shorten my presentation because I leave some time for Marcom and some questions. So basically, networks are there, no doubt, but networks do something. As you are all aware that when we have 2G, it was purely voice. When we 3G, that means it gave some data and voice both. 4G was packet core and also delivered data as also this thing. 5G was then 5G came, where the services started getting a lot of importance. If somebody had a 4G phone, 5G phone, and now 6G, 5G phone, so they say for individuals it appears as it's nothing has happened, only high speed is there, I am able to download a file very fast. But actually 5G onwards and 6G are meant for sectors, vertical sectors like healthcare, like education, like agriculture, disaster management. You can name hundreds of sectors, education and all. So these actually, it is more predominantly serving the 5G on the service sectors where individual benefits are derived from that sector. If health sector services are improved, individually benefits. So if you see on your mobile, you may feel what is the difference between 4G, 5G? Pehle I was doing WhatsApp, now I am using WhatsApp and all that. So how it has enhanced? So it has enhanced services, services sectors, domains, verticals, vertical departments, and so on. So, and also from 5G onwards to 6G, things have taken shape that it is sectors. Some sector may need high bandwidth, some sector may need low latency, some sector may need low bandwidth, may be sufficient for it. Some sector may say, I need more security, and so on. So horizontals and verticals are getting mixed up in the sense, and they have started based on their requirements, the flexibility of networks. So if some sector wants that I should get low latency, supposing surgery, international surgery is going on, and doctor is in US and patient is in here, so we create some digital twin of doctor and the patient, but the delay required cannot be it has to be micro, nanoseconds. So that means low latency is required for that sector. Patient management, drug management, similarly, agriculture sector, disaster management needs very low latency, for example. So there will be different KPIs of different sectors, which will dictate the network, how should it behave. And therefore, all the requirements collected by the use cases and application services are very important indicators to network. How it should slice, how it should dynamically slice, how should it vary in its bandwidth, how it should do that and all that. So KPIs of networks are defined by sectors. So this is one part of it, inputting information to the networks. Second is service delivery itself. So service delivery may have a lot of architectures. Some services may be delivered by one type of architecture of service delivery. And that means it goes up to implementation in the vertical sectors and all that. Not only, so you need connectivity as well as delivery. And service delivery requirements and implementation of services is looked after by sort of SDSS and its applications and standards and all that. So for last 1 year at TSDSI and all over the globe also, we have prioritized 60. As Mr. Mittal just now showed, 60 use cases, talked of security, we talked of drones, and talked of so many use cases were shown in that diagram of ITOR. So this group is also working closely with 3GPP services and architecture and all that. It is closely working with ITUT. 192 countries require services who are not even contributing to standards, but they want to use standards in their domains, in their vertical domains, in smart villages, in smart cities, and so on. So the complexity of this group is very big because we have to reach hundreds of use cases, hundreds of vertical sectors and domains. So, and also we have not vertical responsibilities, but we have horizontal responsibilities also, security, sustainability, and so on, and artificial intelligence enabling these services and all that. So there are verticals enabling technologies as well as horizontals like security and sustainability. So significantly during last 1 year, 6G is in focus because IMT 2030 says or 3GPP says that by 2030, 6G services may start and all that. So why not start making standards just now and all? So what we do is we try to collect Indian requirements, Indian solutions, Indian standards, and these standards then are merged or not in isolation, but in context of the global activities. We try to combine these two standards, contribute to global scenario so that Indian requirements are absorbed in global delivery. So those universal standards, because we cannot work in isolation. We are a global organization and the standards work better because of economy of scales, and Mr. Jaswal also mentioned the twice standards. So standards can be Indian to some extent, but it should be aligned with the global standards, contributed to the global standards. So we have, as I said, verticals as well as interfaces, APIs, specifications. So it works on similar pattern as Mr. Mittal has said, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, requirements, architectures, and specifications in terms of APIs, interfaces between users and networks and all those things. So currently, SDSS group said about 26 working current items and all that. We have 3 working groups because of complexity. We have divided our work not only in SG, but 3 working groups as Mr. Jaswal has shown, of which 11 are out of 26 items, 11 are aligned with 6G focus. Many use cases, application service delivery architectures are identified and the work is in progress. A number of study items which we are working on are in such a way that they will recommend how standards should be made, why standards should be made. And therefore, many of these study items will convert into work items in progressively. And maybe if all not the 26, maybe 20 or 18 of them will convert into work items, the study items, and working on standards. So therefore, the aspects include security, data delivery platforms, Now, for example, there's a possibility that we have similar platform for education sector, health sector, and agriculture sector, and they may be serviced by one platform of platforms to deliver those services. So such architectures are also being worked in this thing. You have seen earlier that we are working on various aspects of security applications and platforms delivery for deliveries and all that. So this is on the premise that there will be some central platforms for service delivery and some edge platforms, AI, ML, you understand, and edge devices, edge devices, edge cloud, main cloud. All these are decentralization of information, data delivery, and also centralization. Centralization is must for security and monitoring and all that. Decentralization is generally for service delivery and all that. So services, the aspect is as centralized as necessary and decentralized as far as is possible. So data and digitization are becoming very important. So then you need enabling technologies. AI is one such enabling technology, artificial intelligence. So we are working on AI as well, not only in service delivery or in drones or in cloud or in edge devices, but we are also working on enabling technology as AI. And there are challenges, however, because still AI is in under discussion whether how ethical it should be, how secure it will be, and so on. So the point of consideration for SDSS and other, similarly SDN also, management, delivery, and architecture is one aspect of it. Second is security in hyper-connected world, because it is hyper connected if it's 6G and onwards and all that. So especially for 6G, for example. And also a question, would AI find a central role in 6G? And you see AI is of different types now, which is different aspects. There are agent AIs, there are agent AIs, there you work of China, Australia, US, how they are working in different types of AI, native AI, distributed AI, and so on. So we're working on all types of this, and how much will be required, what type of AI will be required, how much security will be required for AI. These are the aspects which we are studying. Next slide, please. So if you see current technical studies as on 1st March, in security, some items have been given in terms of we are working on quantum, QKD, post-quantum critical, this thing, end-to-end architecture in security in towards 6G and all. So applications verticals like AI ML solutions, public safety solutions, agriculture, advanced agriculture, transport, autonomous transport systems, and service architectures, railways, and also common edge connectivity, and also cost modeling of services and all that. Future enhancements, rural broadband services architecture, so that people can monetize. Issue is monetization of service providers and advantage to user. So this has to be a win-win situation between service provider and the user, because and nobody will provide service unless they get monetization out of it. So these are some of the important areas which we are working upon. Yes, please. Next slide, please. So some, as Mr. Mittal said, this is a mixture of something happening in SGN, and this is and also SDSS. For example, services architectures, application and verticals, smart agriculture, smart meters, smart cities. All these are being handled in services, and some of the other network aspects. So these are the standards currently we are working on. As I mentioned, this number will enhance further when we convert some of the study reports into work items and standardization. Yes, please. Next slide, please. So these are, as Mr. Mittal also showed, these are the combination of networks and SDSS, both SDN types of reports we have already published, and some of them are converting into standards. But a couple of important things beyond this is also that we have done some research directions in intelligent transport systems and communication standards, MAC and ISAC perspective. Then we are doing location privacy scheme to mitigate risks and all that. That is also published, as the report has been published subsequent to this information between April and now. And we have also done some machine learning models for 6G applications beyond this. Now also, items we have included quality of service provisioning of multi-user activities. We are working on AI-enhanced massive digital twinning framework and so on. We are working on AI-powered air interface for ITS. We are working on SDN-based optical network QKD and adaptive architecture, study of slice-specific handovers and other things. These are some of the important things which are working beyond these reports and beyond current activities, which we have listed only up to 1st of April, but we have taken it beyond those time. Next slide, please. So this is the type of activities SDSS is doing. Now I will not go into as much details processes as you went for 3GPP because 1M, 2M and 3GPP are working on similar partner models and all that. So instead of going into details, I'll take some of the important functions of 1M, 2M. This is again those 7 organizations which are our relationship partners in this. So I'm not repeating the processes which Mr. Mittal has dealt with because when you join, when you are part of us, when you further go on contributing to these, you'll understand some of these processes automatically. Next slide, please. So basically, 1M, 2M is a middle layer between transport system and application layer. In applications, we don't care how healthcare works, how hospitals work, or how railways work. We don't interfere into their work, but create an interface between those applications to the middle layer, through a middle layer, to the network side and all that. So it is a middle layer, a software layer of 1M, 2M of IoT, where we take up security, authentication, authorization, and so on, so that the right people are able to take out information, and right people are able to the people who are authenticated, who are authorized, can only extract information, and people who are authorized can also insert information, and this information can be used across interoperable sectors. X, Y, healthcare, education, we could have similar platforms with these software common service functions and all that. So this is the basic premise of 1M, 2M, but processes are similar to H3GPP and all that. So it is more of a software mediation layers and all that, APIs and other things and all, the definitions of different things. But this is sort of agnostic to application on the top of it and agnostic to transmission layer below this. So this is a service function to do the service delivery, especially for IoT. Next slide, please. So this is again how it promotes, how it works, and all that is just like 3GPP. We have a steering committee, a governing council, we have other things and all those things. And 3 basic groups are there, which is a requirement group, system design and security group, and testing and developing group. See, whatever standards you may develop, whatever standards you may implement, they have no meaning unless standards are verified and tested and all that. So these are 3 working groups for that. Next slide, please. So Mr. Mittal explained ITR, Mr. Mittal explained 3GPP. He left deliberately to IoT because here these groups has all types of activities, non-radio activities. So therefore it is different from ITUR because it is dealing with ICT, it is dealing with telecom, it is dealing with the security, it is dealing with the like SA group of 3GPP. So this is about 21 groups are there, where the digital twin group, IoT group, cost modeling group, service group, future technologies group, and so on. There are 21 study groups in this and all that. Like what you had complexity in 3GP, ITUR similarly here, 3GPP SA similar here, and so on and all that. Next slide, please. So as you mentioned that the study groups are operation aspects, economic and policy issues, environment and circular economy, broadband cable, protocols, test specification, performance, quality of service, quality of experience, and so on. And next slide, please. Future networks, which is non-radio, and because ITOR is taking radio, transport and access home, multimedia, security, IoT, smart cities and communities. Now, Mr. Mittal mentioned one thing, that 3GPP specifications and 1M2M specifications are adopted by ITU, whether it's ITUR or ITUT. Adoption is good by ITUR and ITUT because normally these groups, TGPP and 1M2M, are confined to those 7, 8 SDOs where there may be limited IMs and all that. But ITU, whether ITUR or ITUT, has got 192 countries as members. So anything becomes global. And when things become global, those who are not contributing to standards, they're only using standards, they can also benefit out of this basically. So this is much wider approach, worldwide approach of ITUR and ITUT, because whatever 3GPP makes or I1M2M makes, or they make on their own, come as recommendations of ITUT. And when we adopt them, when we use them for global benefit, with sustainability development goals, with security goals, with ethics goals, and with this is called ubiquitous society. Ubiquitous society is where everybody contributes, everybody participates, and everybody benefits, whether these are service providers or whether they are service users and sectors and so on. Next slide, please. And thank you very much. That was my portion. Thank you, Mr. Mittal. You made my job simpler because you dealt with all processes which are common to ITOR is common to ITUT, 3GPP is common to 1M, 2M. So my job was very simple, and thank you very much for that. And
Hand over to Shivans.
So therefore, I'll now hand over to Shefali for Marcom activities. Thank you very much.
Please mute. Shefali,
you are on mute.
Yeah.
Shefali.
Thank you.
Please,
Thank you
please
for the answer. Thank you for the answer. I will now spend some time on Marcom, and I'll try and wrap this up in about 5-10 minutes. Marcom is mainly working through the outreach committee. Colonel Jaswal talked about the various committees in the governing council. So outreach committee is one such committee, and the outreach committee basically is established to oversee the external TSDSI outreach, partnerships and marketing and communication activities. And this includes activities such as membership, solicitation, media and analyst relations, website content related to Marcom, and promotional material development, branding and publicity, promotional material and collaterals, events and workshop design, execution and representation, and awareness programs. The co-chairs of the outreach committee are Ms. Anuradha from Wipro GE and Mr. P.H. Rao from Samir, and members include Mr. Mombasawala, Mr. Ashok Kumar Jain, and Amit Sethi from TCS, and in the secretariat it's Ms. Bindu Srivastav, myself, and Ritika. Next slide, please. So basically, the mandate of this committee and hence Marcom is three things primarily. From enhancing technical activities, it is primarily to support the technical groups and the roadmap committee in identifying, mobilizing, and nurturing new opportunities leading to trip forums and NIPs. Obviously, this is very, very key. In terms of higher impact in global forums, it is in terms of strengthening interface with global SDOs, both ITU, 3GPP and 1M2M, and leveraging partnerships and affiliations, and positioning TSDSI on national and global stage from events, communications and capacity building perspective. Next slide, please. So if you look at representative events that we have, the annual flagship event that we have is the TSDSI Tech Deep Dive. We have the standards-driven research program that we run with various, various like ComsNets, IEEE, ANS, and NCC, and then other capacity building activities that we run. So typically these are the representative events that we have. We have a 13-month rolling calendar that we have, which we place in the website. So can we go to the next slide, please? So the annual flagship event obviously is the main event that we have. This is the TSDSI Tech Deep Dive. And this year, the TSDSI Tech Deep Dive is happening from 15th of 18th of July, from 15th to 18th of July 2025. This is the 8th edition of the program, and the theme for this year is standardizing 6G, architecting intelligent, secure, and sustainable networks and services. So some of the key outcomes that we expect is in terms of showcasing TSDSI standards, reports, and ongoing technical activities, helping understand what's happening globally on the conference topics, advance and spawn appropriate technical activities within TSDSI, and promote engagement in standards development activities and membership in TSDSI, especially academia. Can we move to the next slide, please? This is the program agenda, and so we have 6 fully online technical sessions happening between the 15th and the 17th. And we have on the 18th we have a hybrid day, which is happening in the auditorium in the RNI Park, wherein we are having a workshop on new network and services ecosystem for 6G. This will have 2 workshops in it, one focusing on the networks aspect and another focusing on the services aspect. We will also be having the outstanding technical awards, contributions award ceremony that day, and also the valedictory session, which will be covering the summary findings from the technical sessions deliberations. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Like I mentioned, another representative event that we have is that we promote the standards-driven research, which is also something that Colonel Jaswal pointed as one of our strategic initiatives. These are some of the SDR workshops that we did in NCC 2024, in ComsNets, and in IEEE ANS. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Yeah, so these are our partnerships and alliances. We have various MOUs with partners like Privilege Brazil, MTSFB, IMT 2030 PG, HC, 6GIA, Orion Alliance, WWRF, IEEE SA, ATSC, TIA. We also have adoption agreements with IEEE SA, ATSC, and with HC. We are organizational partners of 3GPP and 1M2M. We also have, we are a constituent SDO of GSC, and we also have a MOU with, we are also a signatory of the multilateral MOU for conducting global 5G events. Can we move on to the next slide, please? In terms of thought leadership, we constantly have articles. We contribute articles to various publications like Tele.net, the 3GPP Highlight magazine. We also have articles in our own newsletter. So we encourage members to submit articles to our newsletter, to the 3GPP newsletter, to the Tele.net magazine. We have an open call from Tele.net and from Communications Today to send articles to them. These articles are all placed on the website. This is the link on the website where all these articles are placed. We also have various, the broadcast or podcast. These are all placed in the on the website, and you can have a look and go through the various articles, etc., which are already there, have been published so far. There are also the white papers that have all been, launched so far, which Mittal sir had talked about. These are all also available on the website. Can we move on to the next slide, please? We also release the annual report. We have the newsletters which are released quarterly. We have events calendar, which is apart from the 13-month calendar. There is a weekly bulletin that we take out, which has all the key events in the ecosystem, which are listed in an email and shared with the members every week on Friday. So, which is a listing of all the events. There is an event calendar on the website wherein all the events are also listed. This is a view of the event calendar for your reference. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Apart from that, we have the corporate brochure, we have the SGN, SGSS flyer, and the roadmap flyers. So the flyers and the corporate brochures, etc., which are updated periodically. Can we move on to the next slide, please? In terms of the member engagement, we have the Hall of Fame Awards, which this year on 2nd January we had the Hall of Fame Award ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Award 2024 was awarded to Mr. K. Rajaraman, the former Secretary Telecom, and we have the Outstanding Technical Contributions Award. In fact, the call for nominations for the Outstanding Technical Contributions Award for the financial year 24-25 is currently open, and the nominations are open till 16th June. So the for respective study groups can be given, to Mr. Mittal for SGN and Mr. Vijay Madan for SGSS. And so this is what is there in terms of member engagement. I think this is all we have for in terms of Marcom activities. I think now we have a question answer session, and I will now hand it over to Colonel Jaswal for taking up the question answers. So over to you, Colonel Jaswal.
Thank you, Shefali, for nice presentation, and thank you both the advisor and DG sir for very elaborate. Fortunately, we have been able to give answers to all the questions that were raised in the question box, and I think we are dot on time. It is 4 o'clock. But if there are still any questions, we are ready to take it offline. I am in touch with I think all of you. You have my email ID. So I would like to thank everybody, and also invite our DG if you want to say a few words at the end of this session. And thanks for your patience. Over to you, sir. Mittal sir.
Yeah, thank you, Jaswalji. And so I must thank everyone who joined this session and listened to very patiently what has been said. The idea behind this session is that many of our members or the participants who join our meetings, they are not fully aware of all the, the overall ecosystem around TSDSI and our own activities. So idea was to make them aware about TSDSI activities, the standards, how they can proceed to work in national and international arena. So we hope that this brief session has given some idea to the members so that they can, they can ask further questions or they can proceed on to work in TSDSI. They are ready to work, and we are all here to support you and to provide you all the help in working in TSDSI, and also We always wish that more and more members, they join the meetings of study groups, they join our events, and the study groups, they contribute. And whosoever is the IMs for 1M, 2M or 3GPP, they participate in the meetings of those organizations and make contributions, because government has lots of hopes from TSDSI in 6G. So, and that in turn, the hope is coming to members, because ultimately members will contribute. So we encourage all members to please come forward, contribute, and we are there to help. I see one raised hand from Onyx. Yeah, Mr. Hargobind Bansal. So can you unmute him?
Yes, sir, while we are unmuting him, we have also given a public message here that PPT in PDF format is available on material section next to settings on top right. So I think those who are interested in downloading it may download, and we'll keep this open for a few more minutes after this closes. Now I think Mr. Hargobind has been unmuted. Please go ahead, Mr. Bansal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mittal, sir, and thank you all for this nice, informative session. We really enjoyed it, sir. And I especially requested to unmute that because I want to express the gratitude from myself and from my team, Hannoix, that we are able to work in entire year and more than year, actually 1.5 years. We are engaging with TSDSI, and because of your support, sir, we are able to do much better, and we believe that we start contributing at the 3GPP forum. And the good part, sir, we had a lot of 3GPP specific patent we filed, and we are ready for the contribution. So we believe, sir, we definitely will make it at next level with your guidance, with your support, and with your blessings, sir. Thank you so much, sir, from entire Hannoix team.
Thank you, Mr. Bansal. And once again, thank you everyone, all participants, and see you in our events and our meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. We are closing the this session, but we'll keep it open so that you can download those who have not downloaded the PDF. Thank you once again, everyone.